Alright, well, this is Aaron Squire coming to you guys again this week. We've got episode 69, dudes, coming at you. For those of you that don't know, that's a reference to an old movie called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, so look it up sometime. Anyways, tonight on Deck Bill and Squire, I've got Armies of Mordor back. He's trying to defend the title. He's a little bit afraid of Golden Saucer Guy taking over his position, so he had to, like, pump it up a little bit, get back on the show. But, you know, the title is always there. If somebody else wants to start, you know, coming on, trying to steal it back, you know, it's there. We're going to talk about some of the VIP tournaments going on. Alucard's got some special stuff going on Sunday. We've got, of course, the Hex updates. We're going to talk about some PvE stuff going on with Dan Clark's update, which is always fun. And we are going to do a special deck build tonight. We're going to take some set 3 cards. I've already loaded them up. And we're going to build a sealed deck tonight. So it should be a great show. Let's start right in. Armies of Mordor, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
What are you excited about? What are you excited about right now? What's going on?
Set 3.
Set 3?
Like everyone else in the world.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to play on the test server last week. I really wanted to, and you know, so hopefully I'll get to get some footage out, post it out on YouTube, so show the people what Set 3 is going to look like, some of those cards. Did you get a chance to play some Set 3, or?
I gotta play some Set 3. They're telling me in the chat that you need to put your window in front of mine, because my window is...
Oh, it is in front of you. Oh, how embarrassing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. There we go. No? Yes? No, that doesn't... There we go. Look at that. Embarrassing. On Deck Bill with the Squire. So anything else you want to talk about before we head into some of the news that we're going to be talking about, going over? Or I don't think I have really anything to talk about this week. I've been working pretty hard on my game, a lot more. I spend a lot more time working on my game. Most of my house is in order. We still need to get rid of some boxes. But yeah, I've been working on that stuff, trying to get things going. That's just how it is sometimes. I am looking forward to the convention, of course. I still don't know what I should give away. I'm still thinking I might just print out pictures of the card that's my vanity card and then sign them and give them to people, but no one would want them. Also, I'm looking at possibly maybe doing some cosplay this year for the very first time. Maybe doing a cosplay of Attack on Titan, because I feel like that's an easy one. Although I'm not a seamstress, because I'm not a woman. So we figured out it's not tailor, it's a seamster or something like that, right? Yeah.
There were multiple things that we
It could be a lot of different things. Anyways, let's talk about some Hex. I'm tired of talking about all this silly non-Hex stuff. Let's go over to the show. Here we are in the show, and then the Skype is going to come up, and there is Armies of Mordor. Armies of Myth launch date, 7/14. So next month on the 14th, they are launching Armies of Myth. Also, they give this very important update at the bottom here, which says your AAs, your alternate art for murder and for basically a lot of the staple removal cards from set 1 and set 2, I think most of them are set 1 cards, those cards are going to be gone pretty soon. So it's time to either stock up on them and then get ready to sell them after they're gone, or just finish getting your playsets, which is what I need to do. I'm still working on getting my murder playset. I've got my Buccaneers and I've got my Burns, and I need to get Murders and Repels at least. So,
I am 2 A's away from my AA playset. I just need to get the last 2 Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah. Survival of the Fittest is kind of eh. Yes, the common gold cards, the gold cards are going to be gone. But this is a great chance for PvE players to really cash in on those and get ready for set 3 by getting those and then being able to sell them on the auction house for, you know, a little bit of a chunk of change so they can cha-ching and maybe play some drafts while not actually paying Cryptozoic a dime and having someone else foot the bill for their, you know, draft addiction. Just saying. Moving on, we've got the Armies of Myth test server reopening 6/24, which is actually 2 days ago. However, the test server is down right now for patching. It will patch itself, but is actually not open. So I'm hoping that maybe it'll open up tonight. If it does, I will try to get a stream in tonight, but if not, I'm going to stream a little bit tomorrow. But there's so much to do this weekend. There are not just going to be people here on the test server. Armies, did you get on it since the 24th at all, or anything else?
I was on it. I was on it for a couple, like yesterday. It was interesting, but they fixed some bugs, but a lot of other bugs cropped up. You know, they just
sure, as they do.
So yeah, it was an interesting experience. The new bugs that were even more broken than the old bugs.
So if you play on the test server tomorrow, high chance of bugs is what we're really hearing. I guess there was that tournament last weekend. I had a cookout going on, so I couldn't do that tournament either. Did you happen to get on that?
Yes, if you mean the tournament of
that crashed.
Fingers crossed that your game's loaded and
yeah,
that
so
was
it crashed is what you're saying.
Well, it ran to the full conclusion. Some people
well,
didn't have many problems, but
4 rounds.
I lost. No, it was 8 rounds.
Ooh, full 8! Wow.
I only played 6, and by played I mean I really only played 3, and the other 3 I either lost a round or lost a game because the game didn't load, or my opponent played a bugged card which made them win the game, or whatever.
Rounds.
So there wasn't a whole lot of playing going on for me. But
there was a lot of
Nero got
not a lot of
place,
playing.
So
there's a lot of queuing up. Yeah,
yep.
As they like to say in the UK, we get into the queue. Yes. Moving on, we've got the VIP dates. So I guess that there's going to be a Friday. So tonight there's some VIP going on. Saturday, and then Sunday, of course, for people that still have VIP. Again, I haven't played VIP in a very long time now, but you still have a chance to get that Carnosaurus, nice alternate image. Both this and the Valiant Escort are pretty sweet alternate image type of cards. I think you get the Carnosaurus by winning, right? And then the Valiant Escort just for joining, something like that.
No. It's
the
same as the other ones. You get 1 copy of each if you get 2 wins or 3 wins, and you get 2 copies of each if you get 4 wins.
Okay, there it is. Yep, I can see it now. Okay, well, but still, this Valiant Escort, I can really see maybe the Mono Diamond making some sort of Mono Diamond little guys type of a deck. I won't say the other word, but yeah, because it's very synonymous with the.
You can call it what Penta calls it, diminutive diamond.
Diminutive diamond, double D, like my diamond's double D. Just saying. All right, moving on. We've got Alucard is doing a great Hextravaganza this weekend, so make sure to check that out. I'm not sure if he's doing another actual speed run or not. It doesn't really tell me here. And then he's got more stuff on this thing, special giveaway, the AA Cerulean Mirror Knight, which is worth about $100. Again, I'm not sure what exactly he's doing for it, but make sure to show up. He looks like he's giving away a lot of great stuff. A Wrathwood Master Moss, an Angel of Dawn, set 1 and set 2 Primal Pack, some AA Buccaneer sleeve codes. On top of that, if you can't show up, just tweet. Get on Twitter, tweet to Alucard. My favorite card is Armies of Myth. Make sure you at him at HexTCG and at CM Fento, and you have a chance during the Alucard Hextravaganza to win the what's it called, the sleeves, right? I believe it's for the sleeves. Randomly, yeah, the AA Buccaneer sleeves, which are really sweet to look at. So I don't know if you've gotten on that yet. What do you have you been to any of these? You try to do any of these?
I have already won a Buccaneer sleeves from an Alucard stream donated by a viewer. Well, it was donated by a viewer.
Right, okay.
But it was on his stream. So I got mine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm more excited to try to get the AA Storm Clouds from people who go to Gen Con or from the in-game client rewards.
Right. Well, and that's great. Again, talking about that, during the Gen Con weekend, people will have a chance at winning or having those AAs drop during tournaments, or even doing just PvE, which I think is a great thing that Cryptozoic did there.
Yeah, as a dungeon crawler, I highly love more loot chances from drops.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Moving on, we've got the Armies of Myth update. So, set comes with 250 cards, new equipment. This is Dan Clark. He came on episode 25 of Deckman with the Squire. So if you want to know what he looks like, you can go back to episode 25 and hear him talk about the game and watch me build a deck with him. But he's one of the creators of Set 1. He was one of the primary developers for Set 1, and he's talking us through exactly what they think about some of the different items. Basically, common cards are going to have like one piece of equipment associated with them, and then your rare and then mythic cards will have, or legendary rather, not mythic, but legendary cards are going to have up to 2 pieces of equipment on them, and they also have different drop rates, which are very comparable to card drop rates. On top of that, he talks about how with PvE gear, if it makes it basically not fair enough, I guess, for the computer, they will nerf things. So right now in the sites of the developers, it's saying, which one is it? There's
War
specific
Machinist.
equipment. War Machinist down here. He talks about War Machinist has Tinkerer's Robes, where basically you can play an artifact, and if you play up to 2 artifacts, it's going to do 2 damage to your opponent's field, because for each one it's going to do it on their side of the field, and that causes one-sided sweeps, which is a little bit too powerful, they felt, for basically almost any format, honestly. So they may be toning that down or making that a little bit different.
Yeah, on the test server, I don't know if it's the full finished design, but the equipment was like you can deal 1 damage to a single troop they control instead of all troops they control.
Seems to be a common thing, because we know, like, for instance, during the old alpha days, when they had the ruby gem that could directly deal damage to your opponent, people were like, Inquisitor, deal damage to your guy, kill him. And Inquisitor,
when you get
was
randomly
ridiculous.
kill a troop, you mean?
Yeah, it was random. You dealt damage randomly, but like for the most part, it was still pretty ridiculous, because you would just, you'd murder something so that way Inquisitor could kill the other something. Like,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was still random, but it didn't matter that much. It was still pretty much a little bit too powerful. So
Back in the days of 3-cost Inquisitors instead of 4.
Yeah. Yeah, back when Inquisitor was more ridiculous, and back when whatever it was,
Protectorate Defender
was
a
a 2/4, and you could one-shot him back to your hand at any point in time in the game. So he was really good with Extinction.
And escalation was multiplicative instead of additive.
But yeah, they're showing some pretty interesting stuff here. I don't know if you have anything else to say to it. Like, it's a great article, a great read to see what they're trying to do. They do talk about how there's going to be like 306 pieces of equipment with the new set, and that makes like an infinite amount of possibilities. Apparently, when they did the factorials, he talks about the factorials down here somewhere. Yeah, right here, 740 times 739 times 738 factorial, and it was an infinite. It broke the Google calculator. But I mean, honestly, like, how many of those are like seriously competitively playable and other stuff? So I mean, that of course factors into it as well. But they're just saying there's a lot of different options. The main thing I think he was trying to point out with that is there's virtually no way that they can test every possibility. So when things do break, when there are interactions that they haven't thought about that aren't meant to work a certain way in the game, make sure to put in those tickets, and hopefully they can get that stuff fixed, or anything that's extremely degenerative. So
They also mentioned that they added some new lore to the website. If anyone is really interested in lore, they've got some Set 3 faction lore added to the main page. It's at the bottom of this article.
Where's that at? It's this Army of Mist. Oh, there it is. Lore update. Yeah, I didn't even see that. See, that's why you're here. Why has the Shinhair Exalted Emperor ruled for 150 years? I would like to know that. Why was the human society? What was the human society like before Hex struck the planet? See, I've actually thought about that. It would be neat to have like a set that actually goes back in time to before Hex strikes the planet, and then have like sets built around that. Although I don't know if that would be possible, because when Hex strikes the planet, that's when you get like your Tri-Shards, your Sapphire, Diamond, and Ruby, and before that it was only Blood and Wild. So that might be interesting because all there would be available would be Blood and Wild, you know? It might be kind of weird.
I don't think that they can go back before that.
Well, I mean,
they can talk
PvE
about
dungeon,
it, but
like I'm talking about like a PvE dungeon type of thing, you know?
Yeah, I suppose that's possible.
So last week we left off with some of the set 3 cards. It was Mecha Filk Ape, so we're going to just talk through a couple of these before we get to the actual deck doctor tonight. Again, like we're going to be taking some set 3 cards and making a sealed deck. And then, of course, stick around till after the episode when I will give away a draft, so hope you guys stick around for that. So let's talk about this Mecha Filk Ape character. I think this is where we left off. I remember this is where we left off. Again, we're going to skip over cards we've already covered on the show, and I'm going to try to do my best to remember that. But Mecha Filk Ape is a 6-cost artifact, troop, robot beast, 4 basically attack power, and then 6 toughness, as it were. Basic one-shot, you pay 2 and then revert another target troop. So not as good as the rare Filk Ape, although he is a common card. I think this guy's going to see plenty of play in limited, but I don't think he's good enough for constructed. Being a 6-cost, I would like to have something that costs 6 actually just win a game, you know, or at least put me in an overwhelming board state, and this guy's really not it. So any complaints or any arguments on that point?
Yeah, it's kind of expensive, and it's also kind of sad that by making Filk Ape Mecha, he only gained 1 toughness for 1 more cost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think he's pretty playable? And I mean, limited, I would say maybe
he's a little expensive, but I think you could top him off in the
yeah, like a
in the one-shot deck with all the shifting going on.
The diamond one-shot with all the shifting with the champion that allows you to revert your dudes. Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
He could definitely be in that deck if you don't have like the other necrotic that if you have necrotic allegiance you can revert a troop for 5. But yeah, this could go in that deck. It's a bit expensive, so I wouldn't want to play very many of him, but you could put it in that deck for sure.
Yeah. Monument of the Martyr. I'm trying to remember if we have covered this or not. I don't think we have, but it's a 4-cost.
It was created by Martyr, so I imagine you probably went over it when you talked about Martyr.
We did talk about Martyr. Okay, so this is something that just gets created and then it gets placed in your hand, or it goes on.
No. It's you can kill a troop and it becomes that basically.
Oh,
you transform a troop into the Monument of the Martyr.
+1/+1 for all your troops. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to worry about it then.
It's removal. If you're playing a super heavy control deck and you don't mind their troops being a little bit bigger, it's a really good removal spell.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got Murdertron. Artifact troop robot, unique.
It's created by another card as well.
Oh, this is also created
by another card. Might have talked about it. It's created by the unique dwarf of the set.
Okay.
I can't remember his name, but it's a 2/3.
This thing seems ridiculous, though.
Yeah, well, you have to play a 2/3 for 3. It has to deal damage to your opponent, and then you have to pay 4 resources to create it.
Okay. So no real big reason to play this to talk about him too much, but this is a great card that guy creates. I mean, Rage 2
all that being said,
ridiculous.
Reese can create this, so that's another good robot for Reese
to create. Yeah, for sure. Next, we've got the Necropolis Tablet, which is all of the shards threshold, so you have to have 1 of each. And then you can exhaust it and draw a card, and it costs 6. Yeah, this is like a 1. This is like the definition of a 1 to me. It's like garbage in all formats except for like some sort of a format where you're playing like singletons, maybe. You might play a 1 of this card, but I don't really see myself even playing it then.
Yeah, this is... I mean, it gives you a lot of card advantage over the long course of a game, but if you're playing 5-color deck, you probably have access to other ways to gain card advantage.
5-color blood. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could try it in there, but there's no real reason to. It's not any better than, what's his name? The guy that's a 1/1 that can pull stuff back from your graveyard. It's not really that much better. Necropolis Tablet. Alright, moving on. Relic of Nulzan, 3-cost. Artifact troop, so 1/1, so 1 strength and 1 toughness. Socketable Major, while this is socketed with a minor gem, this has +1/+1. So that's an interesting twist on things. I think this guy's going to see plenty of play. It's an uncommon card, especially in limited. I'm not sure if it's going to see too much constructed play, but limited, I could definitely see this guy getting played.
I played it a couple of times. It's an okay card. Most of the time I just put Swift Strike in it and had a 2/2 Swift Strike for 3, which is reasonable.
Yeah, but that's the same as we've already seen, you know.
Yeah, that card has been played before. A 2/2 Swift Strike for 3.
Right, or just a.
If you have ways
to
give it evasion,
3/3 and wild for 3. I mean, okay, so it's.
If you have ways to give it evasion, like you could have the Anthem gem in it, so that it can attack and buff your whole team. But that's like you need a very specific set of cards to make the major gems good for this card.
Yeah, it feels like it's more of a limited card than anything else, and you're probably going to actually play minor gems in it, which is, you give it flying, and it's a 2/2 flyer at least, but it's not that much better than anything else that's actually on color, or on shard rather. Okay, moving on, we've got the resource optimizing infusion device. 1 cost. When this enters play, gain a threshold of your choice, so that's basically one of the different shards you can choose, and then 3, sacrifice this, gain 0/1, so basically gain a permanent resource that you won't actually get until next turn. This seems pretty freaking amazing to me, especially for ramp decks. It can go in any deck and then becomes a ramp deck, you know.
Yeah, I was playing for this in the 3-color Eye of Creation deck.
Oh yeah,
for the fixing.
I'd love this card. Yeah, for wild decks, for any deck, honestly, I'd play it. Yeah, this seems like this beats a lot of the other cards that we've seen so far, like what is it? Adaptive Infusion Device? What is it called?
Adaptable Infusion Device.
Adaptable Infusion Device is the one that cantrips you when you pay 4, comes into play, gives you a threshold of your choice, just like this does, but it doesn't give you a resource. Like, this actually gives you resources, so it's like another resource in your deck. It's almost like what's it called, a chlorophylla, except it's not going to deck thin you. So that's the only downside to it compared to chlorophylla. But you play this on turn 1. I don't have to worry about sweeping this out. I can play Extinction with this and not worry about it. I don't have to play my dorks, you know. So I love it. Let's see. Let's move on. We talked about that. Talked about that. Root Forge Regalia. 2 cost artifact, basic. It's not a troop, it's just an artifact, so a basic action speed. We can pay 2, exhaust it. Target troop you control gets +2/+2 this turn. Reasonably good for limited. Maybe if there's something that is like we've seen that has like does some sort of poison damage, maybe it'll be better. Comparing it to another game. But yeah, I don't really. I mean, it seems pretty good for limited.
I've seen it played. It just seems to me that it's a resource sink, so you can definitely use your leftover resources before you go into combat. But it's basic speed, so they'll always know. Like,
I mean, there's no tricks here. Like, I mean, a good player will see this on the table and already account for it anyways. But like on top of that, like now you place it on the troops, and now you don't even have that many options. So it seems okay. I played in limited, sure, like a 1-of, but it's not a troop. So if you don't have a troop, it's a buff that doesn't do anything, you know. So, that's the only issue. Let's see, that was Root Forge Regalia. Next one is Scrapyard Bruiser. It's 3 cost, 2 strength, 2 toughness. It's an artifact troop junk robot, so you can use it for your robot stuff in your dwarf decks. When this dies, create a Scrapyard Dynamo and put that into play. So we should probably look at what that is.
It's a 1/1.
It's a 1/1. So that's reasonably good. I mean, it has some, it deals with sweeps okay. I mean, you at least have a 1/1 left over. Not that that's hard to deal with, but yeah, it seems okay. I'd play it in limited again. Seems like a lot of these I'm saying that, like, I don't know that I would play it in, some
I actually had some experience playing against someone who played the Scrapyard deck in Constructed,
Well, there's a bunch of these that do the same thing, I'm guessing.
Well, there's like a lord. It's like the next one down or whatever. It's a 3/3 for 5 that when it enters play, you get to take all the 1/1s from your graveyard and put them back in your hand.
Okay.
So he was playing a deck where he was playing Technical Genius, which reduces the cost of all artifacts by 1.
Oh.
So he would just play a bunch of these 1/1s and 2/2s, and whenever they die, they'd all end up in the graveyard, and then he could play this for 5, get back 7 1/1 robots, and play them all for free.
Yeah.
Because their cost was reduced to 0.
Sure, I could see that.
And then he was also playing Sacrifice Outlets so that he could, like, ramp with them, like Hideous Conversion, sack all your robots and play another one.
Or sack a robot, maybe draw 3 cards, you know, with, what is that called? Necessary Sacrifice, that's another good one.
He was playing that. He's also playing the one that, for each troop you control that died this turn, you draw a card.
There you go.
So there's a lot of
seems reasonably good
to do for the deck. It was difficult to play against. It was just like a non-stop army of 1/1s.
Nice little engine there. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, some tricksy stuff. There's your Scrapyard Magnetron. Yes. Artifact Troop Junk Robot. When this enters play, all Scrapyard Dynamos, just like you said, from your graveyard into your hand. Place all of those. So all of these little guys. And when it dies, create a Scrapyard Bruiser and put it into play. So that would be this guy. So yeah, that seems reasonably good, especially in the sweep heavy format that we're in. Also notice that this guy deals very well, interacts very well with Heat Wave, which does 2 damage to all troops. So he avoids Heat Wave, which is also kind of nice. The only issue is he's a 3/3 body for 5, but he's a 3/3 body for 5 that gives you a 2/2. So you kind of
gives you a 2/2 when he dies, and then when the 2/2 dies, it gives you a 1/1.
1/1. So I mean, it's really 6 points of damage that, you know, are just difficult to deal with. Plus, he's an artifact, so you can't exactly like murder him. The best answer for this guy is probably just place him out of play with something in diamond. You know, that's your best option. Next, we've got the Scroll of Yazukan, artifact, unique card, so you can only have one of these in play at a time. When a troop enters a graveyard, if Scroll of Yazukan is in play or in your hand, add a soul counter to it. So we're adding counters to it as long as when a troop enters the graveyard. So even if it's in your hand, you're adding counters to it, which is, again, exploring that digital space, which is pretty cool. At the start of your turn, if there are 6 or more soul counters on Scroll of Yazukan, remove 6 soul counters from it, then create a Blasphemous Horror and put it into play. Now I have to look for this thing.
It's a 6/6 crush.
Yeah, here it is down here. We'll go down and look at it real quick. Blasphemous Horror is a 6/6 crush, just like Armiesofmordor said, and it costs 6, but you're putting this thing straight into play, so that's pretty awesome, because there's a lot of techie things you can do with this. It depends. If you're playing against a blood deck, you would have to kind of put this on the table, because blood will have a hard time dealing with it unless it has ruby or wild paired with it to deal with those artifacts. But if not, you can just sit with this in your hand and stock up those counters, and then all of a sudden you play this, bam, Blasphemous Horror right away. Seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, the main issue with it is it's unique, so in Constructed you can't play a lot of them, so you might not always have it.
Yeah, you play like 2 or 3, but yeah, plus you have to store up counters on it too. The Blasphemous Horror, though, is not unique, so if you had, if you had a lot of things die, you could play these one at a time if you had 3 of them in your hand, and make Blasphemous Horrors one at a time, because it's going to sacrifice itself, right?
Yeah, if you played it, it would destroy your first one.
Yeah. Start your turn. There are 6 or more. Move 6 counters from it, then create a Blasphemous Horror. Yeah, so it just removes counters on itself, not all counters from all scrolls. So you could play multiple scrolls. You're right. You probably only play like 2, maybe 3. But yeah, it seems like an interesting card. I definitely play it in limited. That's like a must play. Although I've said that before and been completely wrong. Oh, you know what, though? Talking about these Scrapyard guys, maybe those would work decently well with, the other card, the All in the Family. Just saying. Maybe they're trying to help me out a little bit there. Give me some hope.
Except that if they killed any of your guys,
Yeah, they could.
then you would lose your constant.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to kill them though if they're indestructible.
Yeah, but I mean when you're trying to build up to it.
Oh, when I'm trying to build up to it, yeah. Let's see. We got some more time here, so let's try to finish this one out. We got Sepulchra Bonewalker. I don't know. Someone has a different way to say that. That's fine. Costs 3 artifact troop constructs, so we can't use it for a lot of what we need robots for. It's not a robot. This has +1/+1 power and toughness for each different threshold you have. So the maximum this guy can be is 5/5. Even if you play him multiple times, he's only going to be 5/5. So minimum of, well, if you were playing a no threshold deck and you happen to play this guy, he would be useless to you. But other than that, I mean, it seems to be kind of like par for the course. I don't think I would play him in limited. I might try to do something with him in that 5-color blood deck, maybe, but doesn't seem to be too.
I think it's fine for limited. It's if you're playing the 3 or 4 color necrotic deck, it's a 3/3 or a 4/4.
Maybe. I mean, Tri-Humans isn't really as much of a thing in this set, is it?
No. But necrotic is 4 to 5 colors, so if you're playing that archetype, you can pick these up. And nobody else is going to pick them up because they're probably only going to be a 2/2 for 3 for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tabling card. You know, this card is not a. This is like one of those cards that just tables.
This is like the Briar Legion, where one person gets them all and nobody else touches them, and you could have a really silly deck with, you know, a 5
we have a bunch of 4/4s for 3. Okay, it could happen. Yeah, maybe. I still would put them at like a 2. I would, yeah.
Well, obviously you don't highly pick it. If you get like a bunch on the wheel and like, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th pick cards, then, you know, you could go into that archetype. But yeah, it's an okay card.
So this, I haven't even seen this yet. This gets me excited. Sepulchra or Kra. Someone needs to tell me how to pronounce that. Because I know Sepulchre is a thing. Like maybe it's Sepulchra.
I think it's Sepulchra, but I could be wrong.
Sepulchra, I don't know. Anyways, awesome. We get a resource this turn, and it says gain a charge. So we get our charge. Necrotic Allegiance, so as long as you have a Necrotic in your hand or on the table, choose and gain a threshold you don't have. So you could get Blood with it, which is most likely what you're going to need first, and then you could get Ruby, Diamond, Sapphire, or Wild with it. So it seems pretty awesome, especially for decks that only need like 1 threshold. Play a 4 of this thing all day. This is going to be probably one of the more expensive resources in this set. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, easily an $8 to $15 card. You know, if I were to
that would depend on
how much necrotic stuff, I guess. But okay.
Because I think the Venom resource is probably more expensive than this, because I think Venom are going to be a lot more popular than necrotic. But
yeah. Let's see, we're almost done here. Star Sphere, again, another resource I haven't seen yet. A lot of these I'm looking at for the first time, so you're getting my first reactions, my actual first reactions on these.
Star Sphere is awesome.
It's a 1/1 resource, gain a charge, so we get our charge, we get our resource this turn. Look at a random card in your deck. Random card. Put up to 1 of those cards on top of your deck. So maybe there's a way to like they're looking at the future to like change cards. So like if there was a way to throw a thing on this deck so we could look at multiple cards, maybe that's why it reads that way.
No, it reads that way because you can choose not to put it on top of your deck. You can choose 0 or 1
or
to
0
put on top
or 1.
Of your deck.
Okay.
And the reason why this card is good is prophecy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's prophecy. Because if you have a good prophecy card in your hand, you can play this resource on the turn that you're going to play that prophecy card.
Right.
And if the card that you randomly select is a good target for that prophecy, you can put it on top of your deck. And if it's not, you can just leave it where it is and just hope your random card is better.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be the optimal way to play it. I mean, the only other way to play it would be to play the prophecy first and then hope that you hit that card, but the chances of that are very, very low. if not like almost, yeah, infinitesimal. What else could you do with it? Random card with your deck. I mean, you could hope to hit some of those escalation cards, which we haven't seen a new escalation card yet. I kind of want it. That was like a big deal back in the day, and I think they've really shied away from the escalation concept.
They're inherently powerful and could be broken if not made correctly. So
that's true.
I can understand shying away from them for now. Like maybe when the first ones rotate out, then maybe we'll get new ones.
Or at least see a decent diamond one, you know, or a decent sapphire one. Okay.
Hey, Chronic Madness is totally reasonable.
Chronic Madness.
Just wait till your deck is filled with eggs.
Yeah.
And they start killing you.
Okay, next one. We have talked about Sin, the Ether Drake Nomad. Obviously, an auto pickup when you're in draft. And maybe someone's going to figure out a way to play him. He's a Dragon, Construct, Troop, Artifact, Unique. 5/6. When Sin the Ether Drake Nomad attacks, void the top card of your deck. Create a copy of the card voided by Sin the Ether Drake Nomad and put them into your hand. You can play this for free. So plays cards for free. Seems amazing for any type of control deck. Yeah. Enough said.
I was playing this in my creation deck as one of, because it's unique, but it was totally good in that deck.
Oh yeah.
You attack with it and you get one of your big bombs off the top of your deck that you can play for free, and his ability stacks. So every time he attacks, you get a copy of every card that he's voided.
Right, exactly.
So you can, it gets.
So what if he does an Eye of Creation? Does it just cast it for X = 0?
He was bugged on the test server, so I couldn't tell you, but
okay.
Because it was only giving you the card, it wasn't making it cast for free. But I had gotten Eye of Creation with it, and then I was able to Eye for 11.
Oh, well then, okay, so you could pump the extra resources into it.
I don't know if it gives you the option to not play it for free. Like if it lets you choose an X value that you can actually cast it for. Like, because it's bugged. It was bugged on the test server.
I suppose if you could play it for free, then you could name any number, couldn't you?
Most of the cards whenever you could play them for free, don't actually let you choose a value.
Okay.
At least in other games.
Two more, and then we're going to get to the Deck Doctor. This will go pretty quick because we're just doing a sealed deck tonight. Unity Generator. 2, exhaust this, gain threshold of your choice. It's just an artifact engine, sits on the table. Not that great. We're just getting threshold, so there's only 5 of them. It costs 4. Another pretty junky card. It is a rare, so this is kind of like one of your, junk rares.
Bulk rare.
Bulk rare, yeah. Moving on, Zithith Silk. It's a 1/1 resource, gain a charge, Venom Allegiance. So if you have a Venom on the table or one in your hand, then it can do this. Gain one, either gain blood or sapphire, or choose Spiderling eggs. And Spiderling eggs go in your opponent's deck, and then when they pop up, they can either be 1/1 Spiderlings with evasion, or 5/5 Spiderlings that actually randomly kill a
It'll always be a 1/1.
Oh, it's always a 1/1.
The only card that makes Tarantula eggs is Fentio.
Okay.
Everything else is a 1/1 unblockable.
So it just makes a 1/1 unblockable.
It makes 3 of them and puts them into your deck, and you choose that option.
Okay. Well, they go in your deck or your opponent's deck?
In their deck.
In their deck. And then when they pop up, they miss their draw phase, and you just put them into play. Right.
They don't miss their draw phase.
They don't miss their draw phase?
No, it specifically words on the eggs that if this card would enter your hand or graveyard, place the top card of your deck into that zone. So if you draw it, you get a new card. And if it gets milled, you mill an additional card. Okay. So they don't actually count as cards in your deck. They're just time bombs that will eventually give you troops.
Next week we'll talk about blood, but we got to get over to the Deck Doctor here, otherwise we're not going to have any time. So here are the cards in our pool, so I'm just going to kind of like go past them here, and you guys can start thinking about what kind of cards. I haven't actually read a lot of these, and so I mean I've looked through a decent amount of stuff in the deck, but right off the bat, you guys might have already seen a card that may just decide this deck for us, and that's not always a good idea to base your whole deck on one specific card, but that's how it goes sometimes. So first things first, what we saw originally, that's basically all the cards we have to choose from. We've got this awesome, Where is she? Vampire Princess. We've talked about her before. Seems to be pretty awesome. She's got that evasion, that flight, that life drain, but we need to make sure that blood can support us playing her in order to make that decision, because if we don't have enough other decent blood cards, we can't justify it, because there are plenty of times when you're going to make a decision based on a card like this and then not draw it all day. If it's just one card, it's not worth it. Armiesofmordor, anything to add to that decision point?
Yeah, unless you were going really heavy into blood, which I don't know that we are. Like, I am really looking at the uncommons, and we have some really nice Ruby Diamond uncommons. So I might consider just going into Ruby Diamond and forgetting about the Vampire Princess.
Yeah, although she was a nice pull on this specific one. 6 Spirelings for it's a 6. I don't really like that guy. Demon of Dusk is another decent blood card, but we need to be heavy in blood for this guy. Avatar of Despair, another great bomb for blood, but we need to have the removal. Vampiric Kiss, that is not a card, right? That comes with her, or right?
No, it's its own card. Like if you attack them and they have an action in their hand, you can get a free kiss. Right. But it's also a card that you can draft and set. Or
so we have 3 of these, and that's reasonable if we wanted to go into blood. We've got the removal. With 3 of these, I mean, that's decent, right?
It definitely synergizes with the Vampire Princess if you have her in your opening hand.
Draw a card for each who died this turn. That's okay. I mean, that if we do decide to play that one, would be a 1-of. I mean, it's very few times that's actually going to do too much. Life Drain. We can shift the Life Drain around. Okay. That seems okay. Let's look at some of our other shards. I don't know if there's anything else that you really want to point out in here. Hatchery Cultivator is another one. Sapphire. This is the one that puts the eggs in your opponent's deck. That could be really good in draft, so maybe Sapphire. So if we do go with Blood, maybe Blood Sapphire just for this guy, you know? Let's see. Let's make a decision here. So that is our Blood. Let's just go through them. We'll go through the Diamond here. So with Diamond, we have City of Adamanth. This is just your attacking troops get +1, +2, +2 this turn.
That card's actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good trick. It's a quick action. Seems
no,
awesome.
it is like the gore feast of this set, and it's common. Like you literally can just destroy your opponent with that card.
Well, it's not
got
2 attack phases though, you know.
Yeah, but you can kill all of their troops. Like if you're full swinging and they put out their blocks and you give +2/+2 to everything, you can blow out their entire field.
Neophyte Awakener seems pretty decent. I mean, pulling those cards back from your graveyard. And it's a 2/2 body for 4, but that seems okay. Spirit Eagle is great.
We have an amazing Ruby Diamond deck here.
Yeah.
From my opinion of playing,
I think
we have some of the best
direction.
Ruby Diamond cards.
This guy, ridiculous. We've talked about him before. Creates phantoms, creates blaze elementals, basic action. Yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, that guy is pretty ridiculous.
2 of them.
We have 2 of them? That's pretty ridiculous. This guy, Deathless, yeah, awesome. Swift Strike. And it's just really hard to deal with this. This is an amazing rare.
It's an uncommon, not a rare.
It's not a rare? It says it looks like it's rare here. They changed it?
The Deathless Guardian's a rare. The Pyro Soul Summoner is an uncommon.
Right, I was talking about the Deathless Guardian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sunseer, Prophecy is entered plays. Next troop gets Life Drain. Yeah, it's reasonably good. Sure.
We also have Flaring Passions, which, if we're playing Ruby Diamond, the Knight's Mane Ovo champion, you can steal their troop forever by using Flaring Passions and then reverting it so it doesn't have the text that sends it back to your opponent at the end of turn.
Yeah, if we're playing Diamond, we're probably going to play the Revert guy anyways. Okay, so let's look at what we've got in Ruby here. We're still in the decision phase of which direction our sealed deck is going to go here.
Yeah, I think the main options here are either Ruby Diamond or Blood Sapphire. Like, those are the 2 main options.
To target champion or troop for each troop you control. So you can sweep out your opponent with this. Seems pretty amazing. All I would really want is a 1-of because it's so expensive, but this could really just decimate your opponent when you've both built up an army and no one wants to attack. It just breaks that stalemate. Seems pretty amazing. Skewer, another good one.
It's also that Volley of Arrows is good with the Pyro Soul Summoner. You can just keep making 1/1 until you need to use it as removal, and you'll be buffing the damage that it deals when you do end up using it.
This guy is going to be very difficult to play in draft. The Periwinkle, I think he's going to be one of those that is like an all-in. Obviously not going to make our deck if we end up going with Diamond and Ruby, like Armies of Mordor.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be splashing a third color for Periwinkle.
A Scarless Radar is a speed troop that's a 1/1 speed. Another troop, amazing. Still synergizes really well with our Volley of Arrows. Looks pretty good so far. The Lunge is decent, a decent little trick. Gives permanent Swift Strike and +2 front end. Yeah, oh no, never mind. This turn, never mind.
Swift Strike this turn. There is a basic action that gives +1 and Swift Strike permanently.
When this is attacking, it has Swift Strike. Another great Swift Strike and troop. There's that, of course, that we already talked about. Pyrosoul Summoner, Invoker, Vandalize, destroy target artifact if we need it. Ashwood Soloist, decently good for gaining us those resources, so we can run a lower curve. We're going to be running a pretty low curve. This is going to be like a 16, possibly even a 15 shard deck, the way the curve looks on some of these cards. But yeah, I think I'm pushing towards Ruby, Diamond, like you said. Although Blood, I wouldn't fault anyone for playing Blood, because we do have 3 reasonably good removal cards in Blood.
Yeah, Vampire Kisses are really good. Like I said, there's 2 really good decks in this pool, and they're Blood Sapphire and Ruby Diamond. I just really like the Ruby Diamond because we have a lot of late game potential with the Pyrosoul Summoners. We also have the Evasion with the Spirit Eagles, and we have Swift Strike, lots of Swift Strike. And we have a lot of tricks too.
I think this common's
Invigorating Breeze and all that.
This common, the Lightning Brave, is going to see a lot of good play in the limited sense. With the 3/2 body with flight seems pretty amazing in limited.
And it's quick.
And it's quick. Yeah, it's a quick troop. They just put it right there, quick troop, so you can play it in response and actually kill some stuff with it. Seems pretty amazing. That's probably one of the more amazing ones I'm seeing. I mean, we do have this guy for the late game. Yeah, okay. That's exciting, I guess, but I don't know that I can hold out to the late game with what I have. I mean, I guess if I went into Blood, we could play the Sapphire, so you could actually play maybe 2 different decks here. If you have a different variation on this deck, I would love to see you post it on this week's YouTube when this gets posted out to YouTube, and you know, if I like it, I can feature it, and maybe I'll give you a pack of cards of set 2 or something, or maybe a set 3 pack. I haven't given out or promised any of those yet. Action in your deck gets draw a card. That seems pretty bad in this format in general. Deals damage. You get Spiraling Eggs. We talked about that guy, but he's a 1/1. So it looks like, yeah, I think we're going to, so far, unless Wild blows me away, which I don't think it's going to, it's probably going to be like what we just said. Now, I've talked at length about the Wrathwood Larch. I do like this guy because he's definitely great in, I think he's going to be good in both limited and constructed formats. He's going to see a lot of play because he does ramp you, gets you those wild shards that you're going to need. Sylvan Duet, I'm not too excited about though. Periwinkle, I don't know. Maybe if I had a bunch.
We just don't have the cards for elves.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like.
We don't have the Ruby Wild aggro deck.
No, I don't think so either. All right, so we've settled on it. We are going to stick with our Diamond Ruby deck, although we did get some nice pulls in Blood. So typically when we're making a 40-card deck, we want to have between 16 and 18 resources. 17 is our de facto standard if we have a typical like 2 or 3 5-card drops, and then like, you know, your 4 or 5 4-card drops.
I would play 17 in this deck because we do have 5-cost cards and 4-cost cards abundantly. Plus, we have resource sinks with the Pyrosoul Summoners.
Right.
So getting to even to 8 resources with a Pyrosoul Summoner will let you put out 2 free things a turn instead of just 1. So I think more resources is fine for this deck.
Yeah, 17 I think is just fine for this, for like where we're going to be sitting. Of course, we love the Pyrosoul Summoner. We do need to have...
You have 2 Spirit Eagles, so be sure to add the second one too.
Oh, we do have 2 Spirit Eagles, yeah. If you want to do this sort of thing, you just go to the draft simulator and then just simulate. Make sure you click on the what is it called, the sealed version of this, and it'll come up that way. Cry of Adamanth, we talked about that one winning us games. Furyseeker, I guess he's a 4/4 body.
It's too expensive. I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could go either way on that, but yeah, Startouched Brave doesn't do anything for us. Neophyte Awakener, yeah, we talked about that. That's a really good one for the, you know,
it's card advantage.
It is card advantage.
You get to bring back one of your bombs that they killed.
This
like
is,
the higher soul summoners, or even our rare, the 2/2 Swift Striker.
We're going to play the reverting champion, so we can play this Flaring Passions and steal one of our opponent's things, which seems pretty awesome.
That I stole in Seal. I stole their Empress, the one that brings back every troop that died this turn under your control. I stole their Empress
reversion champion. Do you know what its name is?
Knightsbane Ovo.
Did I already pass it? I think
you did.
Passed it. Let's see. Princess Corey. No.
Knightsbane Ovo.
Oh, there he is. This guy. So this is our revert champion. So he only reverts our troops, but when we steal their troop, we can revert it, and then it becomes ours. Type of thing. It doesn't.
Or we can reset our shift abilities and get more troops with Swift Strike or Speed, since we have.
So we have this
a few
guy.
Shift troops.
Yeah, we definitely play that guy. The Ashwood Soloist is going to be pretty good to get us resources. If we have to, we can attack with it, even if we're going to lose him and then play things in our second main phase. If we really want that resource, you know, we can give him away to our opponent. The Vandalize, I'm not sure how much artifacts we're actually going to see, but I wouldn't fault someone for playing.
It's reserves. I wouldn't play a main deck.
I typically don't, but I've seen people that have main decked it, and I get so annoyed when they do every time. They kill. I always end up with that dwarf deck playing against them, and they always take advantage of it, you know. +1 for each attacking troop this turn. That seems decently good.
It's okay.
Given
it blocks okay as well if you really need it to block, like bears. It can block 2/2s if you're not aggressive at the time that you have it.
Times troop would be dealt damage this turn, prevent it. That's pretty decent, I guess. Yeah, that's going to maybe cause some positive trades for us. Lunge is decent removal. Duelist. Attacking gets Swift Strike. That's pretty
Flame-Hand Invoker is pretty good too. That's another great uncommon. You shift that ability to a troop with evasion, and you can just sink all your resources into killing your opponent.
And we got a couple of flyers. I mean, the Sunseer is also really good. The Life Drain, we can shift that around as well. If we have, well, no, we can't. It just puts it on the next troop down.
Yeah,
so
that's
what
Prophecy,
right
not
now?
Shift. So there is the Life Drain shift troop, but it's in blood.
We've got 19 cards. We need to look at our shardless cards. We didn't actually look at too many of these. There's that Mecha Filk Ape we saw before.
Yeah, there's not that many good artifacts. I think we have a lot of
good Bruiser. That's
a lot of good Ruby and Diamond troops already. There's only a few artifacts, and they're not very good.
Spirit Eagle, that guy's really good. Skewer's okay. Someone's saying, when you get a chance, please check your Twitch message. Please do show the message on stream. Shh, has a code in it. Ooh, Sir Grum is hooking me up. Target troop that's +2/+2 this turn, and that's reasonably good as a trick. I mean, we have to be careful. We have to count up our tricks. We got about 4 minutes to close out this deck. Shard Ward prevents damage, I guess, is okay. We have.
It actually prevents all damage from. It's like a fog.
Oh, okay. We don't.
It's really. It can blow out your opponent. It's really good. It was bugged the first time on the test server, but they fixed it for the second one.
So this is kind of... The only issue I have is we may not have enough bodies in here. That's my only issue with this.
We have some other troops that you haven't put in, like the one that makes a 1/1 speed and...
which one?
The Gladiator, or what is it called?
Crackler? Scraptooth Crackler? No, that's just a 4/1.
Veteran Raider. Veteran Raider.
Oh, wait, here's the Skewer. We definitely have to put that in. Duh. That's
Veteran Raider is the one I'm thinking of. It's the 3/2 for 3 that makes a 1/1 speed.
Maybe he's at the bottom. He's hiding from me. No. Where is he? Where are you?
It's next to Periwinkle. Below Ghost Feather.
going the wrong direction, aren't I? Oh, here he is, Veteran Raider. Yeah, that guy definitely needs to go in. He's a 3/2 body. And he makes Scarless Raider. Yeah, that guy, I remember looking at him before. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, this 4/1 I'm not a big fan of. Although it is for 3, that's pretty good. But, okay, so we need to whittle this down a bit. So I just need to basically look at my bodies, and then we should
figure out how many tricks we can play.
Yeah, how many tricks we can play. So we've got, I don't know, it says 26 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bodies. And so that means I'm playing 17, and there's 26 cards. That means I'm playing like 9 tricks, and we need to get rid of tricks. So let's look at our basic actions and quick actions. We're definitely keeping Flaring Passions, and that was my only basic action, so I'm actually going to click that off. Let's see, what do we go with? Lunge, Star Shield, Star Ward. I don't think the Star Ward is maybe as good. We can definitely swap this in.
Yeah, you can
2 and 2,
you
2
can
and 3.
leave it in reserves. You don't have
We
to
like
play it.
the aggression of pumping things is what I really want to have, I think.
Yeah, the Invigorating Breeze is good. Lunge is good.
So we need to get rid of one more card. We definitely want to keep Volley. Skewer we have to keep because it's removal.
We could probably cut one troop because we have a lot of troops that make other troops, so we have kind of more bodies than it seems.
You might be able even to play 16 shards, honestly, with this, but...
I think 17. We still have a lot of resource sinks and stuff. Like, having more resources is fine for this kind of deck.
So you want to play 5, 6 tricks? You want to play...
Yeah, I would play the 6 tricks and cut one semi not as good troop. Because we have 2 troops that make more troops with resource sink, and then we've got that other troop that makes a troop.
Our curve looks okay as far as like maybe my 5-point range. I might cut something up in there, but I'm not really seeing a lot of troops in the 5-point range right now.
Yeah, well, we have almost
probably if we're gonna cut something, it'll be the 1/1 that gives us a resource. That's probably the one we cut, honestly.
You could cut Sunseer. You might. The life drain is relevant.
There's 2 of these in the deck. I don't really see him being that relevant late game.
Yeah, you could cut him.
I think that's the cut to make. So that's the cut that I've decided to make. Let me know what you guys think of the deck, or what you would have done differently, or why you don't like what I did when you watch this on YouTube later, or even now. Let's get some resources. I'll probably put the resources in the deck later. Of course, it's not doing our shard count here, so I will go ahead and when I post this to YouTube, I'm going to put the resources in there. We're going to do the recap here, and then stick around for a giveaway after the show, where I will give away at least 1 draft. So, anything you want to add on before we do close things out, Armies of Mordor?
Starting to get distracted because
He's actually trying to play some Hex while we're doing the show, so you just can't get away, right? So tonight on Demon of the Squire, we talked about a lot of news items. We talked about the VIP tournaments this weekend, and then maybe we're going to have, hopefully we'll have the test servers up. There's going to be plenty of stuff to do this weekend. We got Alucard's Extravaganza on Sunday, so make sure to get out there and support him. I'm going to try to stop by on Sunday at some point in time to at least, give my support over there. We also talked about some of the PvE equipment that's going to be coming out and some of our views on that stuff. And then we close things out with this pretty okay, I think, hopefully pretty good, sealed pool of set 3 cards. So we built a sealed deck with the pool that we had given. Again, if you've got something different, I would love for you to build a deck with the sealed pool that we showed you. I will go ahead and post the sealed pool on the both the 5 Shards website, and I'm going to post it on the YouTube. So I really appreciate everyone for stopping by. And so until next time, this is Aaron Squire signing off, saying God bless your families, and the Armies of Mordor saying,
signing off.
I never get tired of that. I really do.